Artificial intelligence. What is the opposite of artificial intelligence? Biological stupidity. We need to make our biology become intelligent. Else we will be replaced and the world will have the choice. What do I prefer? If you were the planet, if you were planet Earth, what would you prefer? Robots that do gardening and never pollute? Or stupid humans that destroy everything? The shift that is in between the wisdom of our generation to the super consciousness of the children coming right now. If your generation or my generation was living forever, I'm not sure we would fix it all. That will take a long time. But it appears that the human being who's going to live forever is already born.
Welcome to the Voices of the One Mind, where the elixir of wisdom flows freely. Join us as we dive into the profound thoughts of extraordinary human beings who embody wisdom, offering insights that serve as a bridge to awakening. Unshackling minds from the chains of suffering, our conversations pave the way for enhanced health, enriched lives, and exponential spiritual growth. Get ready to sip on the nectar of the One Mind with us.
Today we have another very interesting voice of the One Mind coming to us all the way from Egypt. I'm very happy to introduce Kosho Loïc Deep Zen, which besides being a guest today is also a very dear friend of mine. He's a Zen monk, master and sensei, free diving champion and instructor, and a master of science. Loïc is a soul adventurer from early childhood and became the monk Kosho in 1997 at the age of 20. Since that day, Zen practice and body-mind-spirit study became his only focus. He dedicated himself first to academy studies before to pursue his education with Zen master Koshen Roshi. Together with the community, they founded a Zen temple in the south of France in 2008. Kosho is attracted by spirituality, shamanism, and tribal rituals since the early teenage. He traveled around the world to the Himalayas and the desert of Mexico. He has given lots of effort into acquiring certain abilities through ancient practices such as Kenchari Mudra and ancestral projection, reader of tarot, and able to channeling providence. In 2018, after participating in the film Authentic Big Blue as an underwater videographer, he decided to try himself at freediving competitions. He was soon to score this very first national record for Switzerland with a dive at 62 meters deep. Since then, taken with the flow of international competitions and with the strong wish to represent his spiritual beliefs, Loïc managed to become an recognized athlete, holder of many national Swiss records, with dives over 100 meters. Loïc has a wonderful daughter and holds a master in science. If someone wants to dive deeper into his bio, please do so on theonemind.org. I am going to discover with him today what is the shift that humanity is going through at the moment from the perspective of a Zen monk and practitioner, and what are tools that the Zen practices can help people to go through these times of turmoil. Hey, Kosho, Loïc, it's so great to see you, to have you today with me as a voice of the one mind, speaking your truth and your sharing and your vision of what's going on. As I just said in the introduction, one of the major topics, we will go in detail in different things, and obviously very interested also in your path, is how the world is shifting. The world is always shifting, so it's nothing new. The world is shifting, just what is new, very rapidly, and is also going very technocratic. And where I see that the world now in this shift, the big difference to all other shifts is that this artificial intelligence, robotic science, etc., is coming more and more into the this unnatural way of being, comes more and more into the natural way of the human essence. And I want to elaborate with you and talk about the topic, how you see this from the perspective of Zen mastery, and how that affects, according to how you see humanity, and also what you would give our audience on the way to, as I said in the intro, walk through this turmoil and come over. So again, a very, very, very heartfelt welcome, my guest, brother and friend. I'm very excited to have you here.
Yes, thank you, Bear, for this wonderful invitation. It's very valid interrogation you have about the situation of the world. I believe that in a way our world is getting deeper and deeper. People are in search of something deep inside of themselves, and in the same time we are submerged more and more by a lot of superficiality. Intelligence has become artificial. Sexuality has become an identification. We can by now choose our gender. Maybe a lot of us are not directly doing the job we like or living the life we like. Eventually, you've noticed that the shift in between masculinity and femininity has become more and more unbalanced. So it's a very valid question to ask ourselves what we can actually do to manage these shifts, and what we can do to avoid eventually splitting ourselves in two, or splitting the humanity in two and making categories. Okay? If we separate humanity in different clans, we will have difficulties to find harmony again. I believe that, and you will tell me what you think about it, because I know you're also a deep meditation practitioner. I believe that when we meditate, and I don't mean by meditation any formal style, okay? I just mean a moment of intimacy with ourselves where we can let time pass. What I really wonder is what we can do, practice, in order to find first that harmony inside of ourselves, so that we can eventually become leaders for this humanity who's like constantly looking for ways, looking in the deep for superficiality, looking in superficiality for the depths of themselves, and what can we do to not split the humanity in different clans. So by practicing meditation, we can actually just increase our awareness of the situation. The question I will send you back will be, do you really think that the practice of meditation can solve the situation in the one we are? And by that, I want to identify a problem that touches a lot of people. A lot of people. I think I would even dare to say about 95% of the people. Are we physically happy? Are we physically in tune with what we live physically? We know now that a lot of people in the civilized countries are overweighted. We have now autoimmune diseases. We have people that we have found genetic backup to schizophrenia. So I really believe and wonder, and I would like to hear your opinion about it, is sincerely I believe that to get back in touch with our own depths and own superficiality as one passes by physicalizing our practices. We can't be this mental anymore. Okay, if I look at different dimensions of our society, and if I try to make, let's say, levels, people like levels. The first level will be physical, and then mental, and then emotional, and then spiritual, and then social. And then what do we have next? We start to enter the spheres of networking, social network. An unknown dimension will always be divine. But nowadays, people create their identity out of social network and networking, but not anymore about their physicality and their mentality. So I believe that if we want to, let's say, integrate this shift in the one we're going, in the one the planet is going now, my opinion would be that people need to get back in tune with physical efforts. That we speak about meditation, that we speak about sport, that we speak about work, and that we speak about relationship. Understand? I would really enjoy our world to get back to more physicality, do more physical efforts, and to look inside of their own physical limits and in their own physical reflection what makes them happy and fulfilled with their wishes.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point that you're making, and I 100% agree on it. I think one of the topics and the words would be resilience, also to get to create a certain resilience. And absolutely, why did creation manifest in the physicality, in the third dimension, which is the hardest dimension? It is hard in any case, is to manifest that spirit into that hardness. And so to do body practice and body work is fundamental. I want to add that in my understanding is body work, yes, absolutely. However, for me, the body work should be connected with a natural flow, meaning not to run in the forest to get the body trained, but not being in awareness of what is going on around me. Because this energetical aspect that I take from the trees, I was in the forest yesterday the whole day, and I saw so many people. They walk in the forest. You had a concert of birds that is more beautiful than any symphony orchestra in the world, and people were just on the headset and on the phone. So yeah, they do a physical activity, but the physical activity stays on a muscle bone level, and the integration level that comes through the energetic aspect is not happening. That's what I see.
Very often I forget that I have an education about meditation that started with childhood. So before to discover the aspects of physicality and rebuilding myself, I had already practiced for more than 20,000, 25,000 hours of meditation. So it indeed, I forget sometimes that in me to be in tune with the subtle and to be aware of my surrounding as being natural is, I forget. I forget, indeed. And what you mentioned is completely right, that when we go sometimes in the woods, we have people stuffed with gadgets and that have totally forgot about the beauty of the world around us. Indeed, I forget about this. But still, understand that when you go in the forest and you see someone like running with headphone, how many people you don't see that are with their headphones in their apartment watching TV and dedicating to a wish of self-care, a wish of emancipation, which manifests with self-destruction. So if I had to, and I would take a risk, if I had to put in a balance, what do we like more? What do we like more? Guys running in the woods with headphones, or people not even running in the woods with headphones? When we go through physical activity, and I understand that the awareness is something different than the development of spirituality. A person running in the wood with headphones will get, after maybe 20-40 minutes of exercise, to a state where actually the body will start to reflect some deeper thoughts about self-caring, about how do I manage my breath when I run, how do I keep myself in a good posture to maintain that vitality. And you know, even if I passed about 30 years in the monastic, in the hard monastic orders, I've seen people losing their vitality and losing the beauty first of themselves. I understand it's always a bit sad when we see the guys like doing sport and it's written Decathlon on everything. They have their t-shirt, their headphone, their bicycle. But I think it's even sadder when the people hide and that inside of their mind it's written like McDonald's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, coffee, drugs, alcohol. Sincerely, as a monk who has practiced this much of meditation, I have to say that body and mind is one. If we super emphasize the body, we've seen some results. If we super emphasize the mind, we've also seen results. Now that the world has a bit shifted and that we've passed from one to another, where now people are super emphasizing the spiritual, we are on the verge of much more discoveries. But I still believe that everyone should make in sort of to keep a good balance. And the fact that we have this now gender theory, or that we have people doing autoimmune disease out of living too much stress at work or too much stress in their relationship, is passing by a lack of physical exercise. If you allow me to even push a bit more and eventually preach for my parish, when we practice meditation, when we practice Zen meditation, specifically Zazen, we correct the posture of the practitioners. Meaning, if we want to practice serious meditation, not just mind entertainment or spiritual entertainment, we must put the body in a very precise posture. And if that posture is affected by the state of mind, meaning the head is falling in front or the chin is going up because we have like agreeable thoughts, we correct the posture of the meditators. Okay? So there is already all a concept about correcting the spiritual practice that is really, really, really old. But there is not this much, I don't know, you maybe at school you had that, because we are same generation, postural re-education at work, or postural re-education when you take public transport, or when you hold the phone. We know by now, when we hold our phone, it's a little bit like if we are carrying a concrete bag in our neck. And I believe that whatever dimension we're speaking about, we want to see and feel happy because of the reflection we see. If I look at the world and the world doesn't make me happy, there is a problem. Where is this problem? Where is this problem? If I look at my social network, I will take the more subtle dimension first. I looked at my social network, and nobody likes what I post. When I post personal stuff, the pictures of my family or my holidays or the cool things I do, why is it not getting viral? Why not everybody likes it? There is a problem. Let's get it like deeper inside. Okay. Why, when I look inside of my own soul and spirit, am I happy? And eventually we have mixing concepts that make that we can't achieve that happiness. So I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna look inside of my emotions. Am I happy? The only fact that we ask ourselves if we are happy can trigger sadness in certain persons. So let's go deeper. I'm going to ask my mental, am I happy? And then I realize I slowly need to make an effort. And the ultimate point of it, and it's really raw. It's really raw. When I look in the mirror, when I take my t-shirt off and I look in the mirror, am I happy? I think this is where it should start. This is where it should start, because people live more and more alone, casted away from the world because of subtle dimension like spirituality, social network and networking. And this is why I really need to emphasize that spiritual practice needs to be done in a formal body posture, and that if we can't achieve that, more physical exercises can help us to feel first more happy with our human life, and by feeling more happy with our human life, we can do eventually a bigger effort. I'm absolutely not pretending to be right on that. It's something I discovered after multiple years of meditation practice, understanding that I had lost vitality in only exploring the subtle aspects of life.
Yeah, you know, it's like what the great master Yogananda always said, get up the spine, because the spine is your channel, is your channel to the divine. The spine is your channel where God is entering your body, and you cannot with a spine which, you know, with the whole body that leans towards forward, you know, it's simple mechanics. It's not so much about spirituality. It's really about metaphysics. These things, and I wanted to say something before when you said you lean forwards with the phone. The same is, I have always questioned my entire life, and I have hardly worn in my entire life any shoes with a heel. I only buy shoes that are flat, and it's very difficult. Nowadays it's easier with the barefoot shoes, but because I always have a very unnatural feeling when I have a shoe, even if a heel is very little, I always think I'm bowing forwards, but bowing not in a way of being devotional or being humble, but more like, falling forward somehow. It feels unnatural. So there is a lot of little things that people can be aware and can change in their life. And yes, absolutely. The integration, creation has given bodies, and so it cannot be a coincidence that we must use these bodies to integrate the spirit in the body. To get this realization, I always say about the KDIS-UCL, the cosmic divine infinite unconditional compassionate love, that is the ultimate achievement, to bring that into the bodily expression. And what means the bodily expression? It means it's this vessel that connects with everything there is in the world, with all sentient beings. And once I have integrated that, right, whether it's a plant, whether it's an ant, whether it's another human being, I will just emit that power, that love, and to me it was always, this is the reason of the earth walk, and to come there with all the trauma that we are carrying, each one of us, to come to that, and that meditation for me definitely always helped to come more to soften up, to come more to the center, to it's not a pill that you take and the headache is gone, meaning it's not, you don't meditate and wow, you have ayahuasca images. I'm jokingly now, of course. It's a practice that you do, and you soften up in all ways. And as you say,
the key is consistency. The key is consistency in meditation and in all practices. If we reach consistency in any practices, that it is walking in the woods, that it is meditating, that it is doing push-ups, or visualizing a better world, if we really get consistent, then we get to a result and we change ourselves. Mm-hmm. When you say meditation as a pill, this is also a difficulty our world has to consider. And I may shock some of the people that are listening to us. Meditation is not gonna change anything. People that say, practice meditation, it will make you calmer, is a lie. The only thing that meditation will give to you is, if you achieve a discipline, you will get consistency. And at this moment, when you understand the nature of consistency, then you can realize things of a high level. But when people say, take scientific publication and speak about the mind going in alpha and the heartbeat going down and the people feeling more happy, they forget to read the introduction of this publication, that we are speaking about guys that have 30,000 hours of meditation. And the 15,000 first hours of meditation are training. The guy that goes and runs the marathon in less than 2 hours and finishes with a smile has maybe 1,500 marathon before it. So when the people feel happy about themselves, what are they able to? They are able to realize and be aware of their own achievement and to positively empower the people around them. If we have a pleasant life, if we manage to make for ourselves a pleasant life, then we become able to positively empower the people around us to have a pleasant life also. And the key of that, and whatever the practice, is consistency. And this is what impresses about the Buddhist monk and the Zen monks and blah 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 and blah blah blah. What impresses is not the fact that they're always calm or always spiritual or delicate. Me, I break a lot of things all the time. I'm unexitable. If you bring me to the restaurant, there is 2 chances on 3 that I will spill a glass on the table, speaking too loud, moving and being enthusiastic about what I say. But the consistency of the practice, whatever, even if it's being yourself, and this is what I admire in you, Bear, because you've always give so much consistency in being that one. I mean, we know each other since we met each other maybe 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. We will recognize each other in the street, even if we met one time. Even we felt that connection and we met physically only one time. We are 15 years later and we are doing this podcast together. The key of that is consistency. Whatever you did it consistently. Whatever I did it consistently. And it's even, I would say something outrageous, but even if it's smoking weed every day, the consistency of that will bring you to the success you were expecting. If it's doing push-ups every day during 15 years, you will reach that goal. And people should not feel too much blinded by the beauty of others. These people that are beautiful, like you, eventually like me, but you are more beautiful than me. We need to positively empower people to find consistency in whatever they do. And the risk today is that we've offered so many change options. You don't find the answer to your calculation? Go ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Go ask ChatGPT. It will give you the answer. No consistency. You are not happy as a, and I'm sorry for all brothers and sisters and brothers. You are not happy as a man. Okay, become a woman. This is a choice that is not given by our body. Artificial intelligence. What is the opposite of artificial intelligence? Biological stupidity. We need to make our biology become intelligent. Else we will be replaced and the world will have the choice. What do I prefer? If you were the planet, if you were planet Earth, what would you prefer? Robots that do gardening and never pollute? Or stupid humans that destroy everything? And then the choice is given and some beauties are eradicated. Mm-hmm. We can't go on like this. We can't go on like this, and yet we will. Yeah. And yet we will.
I have followed. When I was in Los Angeles, I even was a guest sometimes in some screenings and ceremonies of the Etheric Society of Dr. George King. He was a fantastic, great channel that lived in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and. George King was talking about that the human species originally were, stems from a planet called Maldek, and when human species got into the wars there, some of the high vibrating beings that at the time could space travel, they choose Earth that had no inhabitants at the time, and I want to come back to that point. Why do I say this? Because it was the logos of Mother Earth that had to be asked, are you willing to receive this species? And the logos of Mother Earth decided yes, I received these species. Little probably Mother Earth has known at that time where the whole thing was going, because these were very high vibrational, natural intelligence, as you say, beings at the time. And from there on, it was a huge degradation. And the thing is, it always goes in up and down. So there, like the Taoists say, there is always the yin and yang, because yes, we have this immense pressure that still is human-made in a way, with some influences of this artificial intelligence and becoming these kind of bio-robots. And on the other hand, we see a lot of young people. I'm going to speak to a young Afro-American guy by the age of 8 years very soon as a voice of the one mind. This boy is mind-blowing, and more of these coming out, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, and you can only sit there with my age as officially an elder, over 52 years. I only can, and I consider me quite a wise man, but when the guy talks, I can only sit there and say, what can I learn from you, you know? And
but this is wisdom there.
Exactly.
This is wisdom.
Yes. And I'm saying we have that pressure on one side, on the young side, but the yin side and the young side is also coming up with a remedy for that. And
Exactly.
and then we have the mass in between that is by have been given the free will, able to choose. It's a choice. It's a choice. What do I want to follow as the individual human being? Which path I'm going to follow as the individual human being? And we always have that choice. And that's very important to know, that I always say the free will has been given as a, not just people say, I always say it's not only a good thing. The free will is one of the big curses as well, right? Because what does automatically normally come with the free will is discernment, right? And but when I only act on the free will but forget about discernment and don't apply discernment anymore, what is the free will? Nothing. If I don't have the discernment towards actions that I do.
Yes, I believe that as a wise man, you will understand that you always have the choice. This is like a massive generality. We always have the choice. But you as a wise man, you don't have this much choices anymore. Or you have to assume your wisdom, or you have to surrender it. Of course, you could get free and go in the woods and not care anymore. But you still meet people. You still meet people. And most of it, you and me, we are confronted to meet more and more people of the new generation. We are getting old. We are unfortunately getting old. And indeed, the new generation is battled, I don't know how to say that, is confronted by this mass you're speaking about. What do you want to do when, what are you going to do when you're going to be grown up? They're already grown up. And jobs of when they will be 20 or 22 or 25 or 30, because we don't know what it means to be grown up anymore. The mass, because of their lack of vitality, is unable to positively empower this generation which is coming. They criticize them saying they're always on the phone. They criticize them because they say they're, always on the phone. They're always connected to an ultimate source of information. They have such a consistency in finding new information all the time that in not even 20, 15 years, 16 years is my daughter. She is able to explain me all the psychological aspects of the discrepancy of my life being stuck in religion for 25 years. A child of 16 years old. if the people that listen to us, they look for a solution, yeah, my son or my daughter, she's always on her phone, encourage them to find the valuable information to solve the entire family story, to solve their story, to solve your story. The problem of the mass is because they are offered a choice all the time, in the end, they don't know what they want. They just don't know what they want. We all have the possibility to go and jog on the weekend. It's simple. We don't even need shoes. You go on YouTube and you will have like a video explaining you how to go for jogging without shoes and how to run without shoes. So people are offered so much possibilities, so much choices, they don't know what they want anymore. Eventually, this is related to something material that we could identify, I don't know, toothpaste or food or processed food or drinks or something like that. But I really believe that the shift that we were speaking at the beginning of our talk is in between the wisdom of our generation to the super consciousness of the children coming right now. I've looked a video, yeah, and the mass in the middle, we don't give a fuck about it. Sorry, huh? Nobody needs to identify, but this is it. Like, there has always been these middle people that don't exist. They don't exist. It exists only a transmission from wisdom to super consciousness. And now there is such a pressure. We don't know if the Earth is going to make it. Every 2 days we have an asteroid that's going to collapse on us. We have scenarios in the news that were science fiction when you and me were entertaining ourselves with Hollywood. So people that nowadays are in the age of having children capable of analyze and looking for information must be able to positively empower them and support them and to play the role of backup and not tell them, I mean, maybe you had to go through this. When our parents would say to us, oh, you will inherit our problems. The pollution that we did in the world, you will have to fix it. The generation who's coming is going to fix it like this, if we let them do. If we don't try to integrate them to a mass, and this is the pressure that this world should relieve. And if the people are sensitive to that pressure, it's because they don't know nothing about depths. You know, I'm not only a Zen monk, I'm a freediver. And to submit your body to a certain depth requires certain skills. And one of the most important skills, if you want the people to achieve some depths in their life, is positive empowerment. It is necessary, not so much to expose them, but to positively empower them and to assume our role of elders, which means nowadays, backup. We are here for backup. Do what you want. If we go on, if your generation or my generation was living forever, I'm not sure we would fix it all. That will take a long time. But it appears that the person who's going to live forever is already born. The human being who's going to live forever is already born. So we have, because we have that temporary wisdom, and everything is temporary, we have to back them up, transmit what we can, and positively empower them. And if we can't do that, it's because we're not happy with ourselves. And if we're not happy with ourselves, it's because we ignored dimension and left ourselves be trapped in things that are not meant for us. Artificial intelligence and social network and networking with other planets is something that has been designed for the generation that is coming. we are supposed to be healthy, happy, and knowing what's the good things to eat, to drink, and to practice. I believe it like this. Sincerely believe.
Very, very beautiful stated. I love what you said about transforming the wisdom that we hold, that our generation holds, some of our generation holds, some in our generation, to the super consciousness of the youngsters that is coming up. And just literally 2 days ago, I had a conversation with the mother of that young gentleman, and there is, I invited her to listen to some wisdom and prophecies that I'm holding for that generation. And it's a very, very interesting setup here between actually two nations, because in particular this boy represents the two nationalities that are currently in war with each other. So he is from the mother side, from the biggest country in the world in Eastern Europe, and from the father side, American. So African American. So it's a very interesting, because that fits exactly in that Maori prophecy and also Slavic prophecy of this generation that is are the ambassadors, the custodians of that peace that will emerge from a certain region. I don't want to name it now, but from a certain region of that planet. And my heart is really opening that you talk exactly in these lines, because that is my aim that I had, especially over the last few weeks and the last months, to form slowly that connection, and to slowly get to also transfer that wisdom so that it can be perceived by that superconsciousness, and this superconsciousness with that wisdom can, like, it's sparking like an explosion. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. And personally, I have to say, I've dedicated myself over the last few months. I said to myself, well, the older I get, the more wisdom is coming, the less I know. The goal is to know nothing. This is the eventual goal. And out of that state, to surround myself with exactly these youngsters now, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and share with them prophecies and wisdom that were given to me even in my childhood, through dream time, through other elders that I met throughout my life, in order to create this union of that generation that really can bring this planet finally into its destiny. And that's all that Mother Earth ever wants, the logos of Mother Earth, to have that peace amongst the species that are living here on that planet. And I think we are the bridge builders now. We are the bridge builders. And as you say, we did come here as the bridge builders, and also to let collapse the bridge, and we came here, we signed up for that mission here, and as you said, I know we don't live forever, and that we need to do our best, and obviously all along that path, with all the aim, helping others and helping the world, because anyway we cannot change the world, is what for me always was important, is really the self-realization, the own traumas, and to grow in that, and to realize ever more of the self, Yeah.
Wonderful, man. I'm really happy you take care of this generation coming. Me, last year I did an experience. I was invited to teach meditation to children and teenagers. And since I was going with my daughter, and that she was asking me she was asking her grandfather and her uncle, hey guys, do you have a little job for me? So my grandfather made her clean his flat. My big brother made some calls to find if someone had a job for my daughter. And then I simply said to her, why don't you teach the meditation? Why don't you teach the meditation? I'm supposed to teach children and teenagers. What do you want me to teach them? We're gonna do that. You're gonna teach them. And me, I'm gonna do the spiritual cop. I'm gonna do the cop. I'm going to watch the parents, and the first parent that says to his child, do like she says, or you. Let your child receive the teaching from another child straightforward. They are together and they can make that. So the fact that you take that position of elder and open a space for these prophecies to realize and that to happen, I'm really proud of you. I'm really grateful. Thank you, man. It's really cool. It's really cool. Someone has to do this job. I can't do it.
We are all stars. We are all stars in this big film, and each one of us does his thing. And by being humble and by also daring to share, I have to say, for me personally, I always knew for myself I hold wisdom. However, it was not so easy for me to come forward. There was probably it needed that stage to get into that state of an elder. It's not that I need that thing to become as all the First Nation people say, once you have achieved 52 years, you are considered as an elder. It was not for me to wait for that number, but obviously also something magically happened when I made this transition, because there was something opening. And so now is the time, and probably also some personal stuff had to be worked through before this being was ready to share and tell me, what I find so fascinating in your life. You are a Swiss national champion in free diving. So the first thing will be, I also say a number now, 50% of people that are listening to us might even not totally know what free diving is. So I just quickly tell them, free diving is when you dive deep without any gear. You just have a suit and the fins, but you don't have oxygen bottles, and you don't have a diving jacket and all these things. You don't only dive deep, this is for competition, but free divers do also just some fun dives and swim around under the water. And Loïc is a Swiss national champion and is participating in very many competitions around the world championships. And what I find so fascinating is you also gave your project. You have like a name that is Deep Zen, and when I heard it the first time, it was just so amazing. Deep Zen, because that's what you are. You are deep. You are the Zen monk and master, and you dive deep and you go deep. And I think it's this diving ever 1 meter more, 2 meter more. I've read in your bio you probably started with much less, but your first achievement was 62 meters, and now you dive over 100. So I think this obviously, I know it goes gradually. You do another 5 meters more, you do another 8 meters more, you do another 10 meters more, and you get better. As you just said before, as we just say, consistency, and it's all about consistency. And so here, What I find fascinating is that to be the athlete on one hand and to be the Zen monk on the other hand is many people might think something like this is a contradiction. How can you be the Zen monk and how can you be on the other side this athlete who needs to go into the arena and kind of fight his way through that? And I always found that absolutely not, because just start by calmness through meditation, start by breathing techniques that you practice and learn in meditation. That is, to me, very helpful for what you do. So tell us a little bit about how you combine these two things and how both of these worlds. And here again, what we said what you said in the beginning, we have the spiritual world, and if we don't integrate the spiritual world into the physical, it's nothing. And I think there is no better example on an extreme level, on an extreme level, how you do it. Because on an extreme level, you are a fully dedicated Zen monk, and on another level, you are a national champion. And it could be more extreme, and I find that just fascinating. Would you share with our audience a little bit your experience and your...
Yes, I like this question. You know, Beris, like you can imagine, it's a question that I got asked often. Even during competitions, some athletes, they come to me and they say, "But you, Loïc, you are a monk. Is it okay to do? Are you allowed?" That's generally what they think, that I'm following like formal rules that would prohibit me to compete. So I like, for the little joke, when the other athletes come to me and say, "But you, Loïc, you're a Zen monk, are you allowed to compete?" I generally say, yeah, I'm allowed to compete. And beware, because I'm even allowed to win, okay? to make them shake a little bit, So, look, in the monasteries we have like a set of rules. The mindset of a monk is conditioned by a certain set of rules. 10. Do not kill, do not lie, do not steal, do not have a bad sexuality, do not sell alcohol, do not be dogmatic, and so on. And eventually when you go inside of a temple, you have added rules. Don't make noise with your slippers, don't snore at night, don't sweat in your suit, in your robe, sorry, I make the confusion. So we all have rules for ourselves. The monk is having rules for himself, the freediver is having rules for himself, and when the freediver goes into a competition, it's a little bit like when the monk goes back into the temple. So I'm really used to that context, and for me a freediving competition is not this much different than a big retreat in a temple. Everybody tries to be the best, everybody tries to shine the most in front of the master, and everybody is playing the elbows to, Bear, one day maybe together we will do even that, or with people that I would like to organize one day the World Championship of Enlightenment. At least that will be clear. We decide in between judges 12 different things: the Kirlian picture, the aura photography, the Dharma fight with Shaolin monk, and eating food with your ex-wife or something like this. You know, we can choose 12 different obstacles to go through, and then we have a world champion of enlightenment, and it's quantified. When I say I'm the deepest monk in the world, people say, "How can you say that?" I say I'm a monk and I dive 101. I dive 101 meter deep. It's simple. It's really simple. There is no complication in my mind. Now, so I have absolutely nothing in my so-called religion that prohibits me to measure myself to others. Of course, I don't go break the fins of my opponent if they let them, or I don't put dope in their drinks or anything like this. I follow the rules. I'm really used to follow the rules. One rule you follow, one more level of freedom you get. And in freediving competitions, there is a lot of rules. Okay? Then after competitions are like retreats. Imagine you do a meditation, 10 days meditation retreat every year, and in between, you never meditate. You know that the first days of the meditation retreat, whoo, that is gonna be hard, huh? That is gonna be hard. So retreats and competition helps the athlete or the practitioner to stay consistent, to get back to that. Now what shocks most of the people is that when you finish, eventually you finish, or you have that very deep insight during a meditation retreat, you are not going to go and do, yes, I achieved enlightenment, I'm the best, make pictures of me, show me in the news. Okay, this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen, and the people, they will say, oh, this one is really ego-centered. Negative empowerment. This is what I suffered. This is what I suffered. I've been the best disciple of my master. This is obvious for all my co-disciples. I built the temple, I received the transmission. It is obvious. But the fact that I was happy about it, victorious and successful, of having achieved my the completion of the teaching of my master, made everybody pissed. This is bad. This is bad. So in freediving competition, I could express all that part of me. The first time I did, you mentioned it. I'm like, wow, you've read about me. Indeed, the first national record I did was 62 meters. I did 62 meters, which is not a lot, but that was enough to make a national record for Switzerland. So I wrote to the Swiss News, being like, "Hey guys, I'm a Zen monk, and now I'm a record holder in constant weight bifin. I did 62 meters." And the guys, they thought, wow, that's a nice story. So they made like a news article, and I was in the news. And a lot of people said to me, wow, Loïc, you're in the news, you made 62 meters. And then not even 1 year after, I was everywhere in the news. And on French TV, this monk that dives. And I was like, I'm doing good job. This is good job. This is good job. And what did I had to reconsider in me? It is that constant smashing that because you understood I soak inside of religion since I'm a child. So it has always like, don't express your ego, don't shine, don't say you're the best, don't, nobody will tell you when you go out of the dojo and you look and shiny and enlightened. Me, I will do it. Wow, Bear, you look shiny and enlightened. I'm sure your meditation was super good. Well done, congratulations. Okay, has never been the case. This is new. This is new. So I could express through these competitions in freediving everything that was lacking inside of my discipline of Zen monk. You say meditation is good because of the breathing exercise. My ass, nothing at all. I discovered how to breathe when I became a freediver. That is my story. I went to do my AIDA 2 and I discovered the guys breathing and holding their breath for 3 minutes. Me, I could hardly do a minute and a half. Everybody was, and me, I was already a Zen master. And I was the shame of the group. I broke my sinuses. I was bleeding after my first dive. And I was like, everybody believed I could stop my heartbeat. Eventually, they would even believe I was levitating because I'm so-called monk. No, man. I was just the black goat. I was just the black sheep of the troop. And when I came back to the temple, I said to my master, these guys, they have welcomed me open arms. They have positively empowered me whenever I was already about to be 40 years old. Maybe I was already more than 40 years old, I don't remember. But I was an old guy to start freediving, And the instructor was scared because he said to me, I never taught any master. And I said, don't worry, I never took any course. So, you know. And what I learned from this guy emancipated my entire practice. My entire practice. So what did I got from Zen that helped me to become this 24 times record holder of Switzerland, diving deeper than 100, blah, blah, blah? It is consistency. I had a taste for, I knew a little bit like Mike Tyson says, you know, to do real effort is to like what you don't like, to force yourself to like what you don't like. Okay? In the temple, you drink alcohol, you smoke cigarette. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Enjoy your life, you know? Enjoy your life. Nobody will come. There is no cops. I mean, at least in my community. So I didn't know nothing about breathing exercises. I didn't know nothing about sport. When I left the temple, I was about like 110 kilo. Now I'm 85. I believed I was not good at sport at all. And now when I look behind, I realize that the sport challenges have been like a red thread in my life. So meditation, consistency, efforts, and self-abnegation. That's what helped me. But meditation alone is not enough. Is not enough. That's why I said at the beginning we need to physicalize. You do meditation, yeah, okay, but do a jogging. Do jogging also. You do jogging only? You must do. This is why I developed that deep Zen concept. Is the freedivers, they come and see me, they want to learn about meditation. They say, we are going to meditate before to go dive. No. We're going to do breathing exercise, stretching, we go dive, and after, we'll integrate this experience inside of meditation, and finally you will breathe, and you will be so happy that you can breathe, because in one day of freediver we don't breathe a lot. And the guys that come to me for meditation, I tell them, no. You are going to do freediving. And this works well. They are complementary. What is the fusion? It's only about depth. And what I believe is that competition and freediving allows you to put a number on your depths. And that can help you develop some humility. The monkey dives, you can imagine that journalists, they ask me, how deep you dive? I say 101. The first question they will ask me is, what the world record? Yeah, well, for sure, it's 31 meters more. I'm just a joke. I dive 101, but I'm the only monk that does that. So even if I dive deep, I know others dive deeper. And I have a certainty that the awareness of depth for a monk or for a freediver is the same. The only difference is that the freediver has a number on the one he can't lie. The monk can make you believe he's deeper than what he says. That's why I went to competition, because I wanted to prove with a number my depth. I'm not the deepest guy in the world. I'm the deepest monk, and it's funny, it makes the people laugh a little bit, so they understand monks can be funny.
Thank you very much for sharing this, and I just love the passion that you share these things, and it is so funny. There was this picture on the internet of a Thai monk that walks over the street and the car passes in front of him, and he shows the finger to the guy in his monk robe. You know this one probably, right? And then it says below, probably the morning meditation didn't go that well, and for all our audience out there, we see a human being here that can really live also the passion, and not just hide behind I am a monk and I'm also in my divine realms, really integrating and living. And this is something that I appreciate so much in you, brother, and also to be that example, to be really that example, that just because you're a monk, just because you're meditating every day, you can be harsh, and you also can lose yourself, and you also can have a consistency. I had to laugh a little bit when you said out 2 or 3 times when you go to a restaurant, you drop something, and was immediately coming to my mind, yeah, here is consistency. He's all about consistency. And also the dropping of plates and glasses in the restaurant is a certain consistency. So it just really opens my heart when I see you, how passionate you go. You live life. You live life. You live life. You live life, and that's all about it.
I am passionate about what I do, and I don't want to be selling. You know, precept number 5: don't sell illusions. It's a precept for monks. We are not allowed to sell illusions. Someone telling you, practice meditation, it will be good for you. How do you know? How do you know? Simply because someone said it on on an advertisement on TV, with like a beautiful girl that has no weight excess, that has beautiful chest, that has beautiful haircut. How do you know? How do we know? And I've practiced that 25,000 hours. I have my logbook, exactly like any diver. I have my logbook, 25,000 hours of meditation. I was a cool guy before to start, so that did not make me cool. I was cool already before, but that did not call me out. That did not make me a sheep. That made me, eventually, that made me a roaring lion. Yeah.
You were saying I remember that in the beginning of the conversation, you were saying what makes us a leader, and here is the answer. Here is the answer. You said you want to give back a question, and what is it exactly what makes us a leader? This is exactly what makes us a leader. That the integration of that passion with the spiritual wisdom into the physical manifestation, that eventually creates the leader. And I think this is also a very beautiful message that we can give our audience, is to live life with that passion, and do something with passion, and give your heart for it, and have consistency in it, and you will eventually overcome all obstacles. Because anyway, we don't have all the time today in this conversation, but 99% of the obstacles we are facing are brain-made, are conceptual thinking. It's all conceptual thought. They are not real in the immediate reality. In that now and here, they are not. So it's another conversation, another topic we could do in another episode. But I'm saying, with this kind of compassion that Kosho lives and shows to the world, is a real figure and manifestation where many people can learn something from, how to really live that passion. We are slowly going to wrap up, and may I ask you if you have a message, something you would like to give our audience, you would like to leave us with, you would like to leave the audience with. We were talking about turmoil going through. Is there something you would like to share?
Yes, you can imagine. I always have something that I want to add.
That's why I'm asking you.
Thank you. I think one must take individual life decisions. Not think, not ask, not question, not try to weigh what is good and what is bad. The fact that we have so much mass disempowering those who really hold the power is because this mass is not able anymore to take individual life decisions. If I ask someone, do you prefer vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? The percentage of chances that this person is going to ask me what I'm going to choose is too big. Is too big. One should take decision on intuition and force the effort and the consistency. When we observe monks, we are impressed by their discipline. The real discipline of a monk is to be free. The first step is austerity, respect, distance, love, wisdom, liberation. And liberation is discipline. So if one wants to achieve something with their life, they must have a tiny little moment of intuition. We all have that. Take a life individual decision and assume it. Not try to ensure some kind of enlightenment or awakening by doing blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Intuition, decision, and efforts. I believe that this is how, it did not take me 50 days to decide to shave my head. It went like hook. It went, suddenly it takes 5 minutes to shave your head and you look at yourself in the mirror and suddenly wow. You see the change in your life. So take decisions. And I'm sure Bear will explain you in another one why it's so important to take decisions, individual life decisions.
Or we will explain it together, because wrapping it up here, I really don't want to add anything to this very powerful word. Also the sword that has cut free the symbol of your hand, the sword that has cut free the way to say this powerful message, touches me very much, and I'm sure it is also touching very much our audience. I don't want to add anything anymore to that. All I can say is I highly appreciate, and from the depth of my heart, so much love for your showing up, for your consistency, for what you are representing. And that's all I can say. And I'm so grateful for having you here with us as a voice of the one mind. And I hope for all the audience that you enjoyed the episode. We are definitely having another one together. I'm very sure that something will pop up, one of the topics that we have been touching. Appreciate, thank you very much for listening, and subscribe, share the message. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey with another voice of the one mind. We thank you for your support, and to ensure that you never miss a drop of this wisdom nectar, click subscribe and stay connected with us on theonemind.org. Until next time, may your path be illuminated with profound insights and growth.